Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of them?
Weird. What's up, all my Ewoks, droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as thatstarwarsgirl. And in today's video, if you didn't guess it, we are going to be talking about Snow White because Disney just dropped the Snow White teaser trailer at their D23 Expo. And already, since it premiered a few days ago, there is over 6 million views. And the like to dislike ratio, if you're like me and you have that little add-on that actually will show you the dislikes, there is over 63,000 likes to over 446,000 downvotes. Weird. Sorry, Rachel, or should I say Lord Farquaad 2.0. There's nothing weird about this because this looks absolutely horrific. I mean, you really want us to believe that someone as gorgeous as Gal Gadot would ever be jealous of someone that looks like this?
You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that fucking backward story of 7 dwarves living in a cave. What the f are you doing, man? There's a lot of hypocrisy going on, I gotta say, from being somebody who's a little bit unique.
And not only that, Rachel has proven that she's not just ugly on the outside, but also on the inside. She had the entire internet turn against her when she explained her true feelings for this character.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So right off the bat, she starts by bashing on this film that she's banking on people spending money to see because this is a very beloved and classic character. This was Disney's first full-length featured animated film, and she's bashing on it because of when it was made. And not only that, she gets the story wrong. So it's like, did you even watch this movie? The prince is not stalking Snow White. Do you really think the kiss of true love, the only thing that could wake Snow White up at the end of the movie, would have happened if he was just some random stalker? No. The entire beginning song is her wishing or singing to a wishing well that she wants the one she loves to find her. Now, if you had any ability of critical thinking or common sense, you could piece this story together. Trust me, I did when I was basically an infant when I watched this movie. So did every other person on the planet. The prince isn't stalking her. They have obviously know each other and have known each other for a very long time. You do realize that the world just didn't magically appear the second that this movie starts. No, there is a backstory. Snow White had parents. She had a father. There is a whole backstory on why she is called Snow White. If you actually took the time to research the character that you're playing and read the damn story, you would know that. You would also apply this thing again called common sense, which is, oh, a king used to rule. What do kings do? Oh, they have to make peace and like deal with other kings and queens and kingdoms and other lands and other nobles. And it would make sense that the other kings would be wondering, remember that one king that died and he only had a daughter and his wife is now ruling? I don't know, maybe we should investigate that. And maybe, just maybe, a prince who grew up alongside Snow White, knowing Snow White because these people all know each other because they're the only royals. Don't you think that he might go and investigate and see what the hell is going on over in this kingdom now that the king is dead? I don't know, common freaking sense. And also considering usually when back in this time period when a king dies and has no heirs, or well, male heirs, I should say, if he's only got one daughter, maybe it would make sense that, I don't know, the prince that's in love with her would show up and try to marry her so that way she wouldn't have to be a slave to her psycho stepmother. I don't know. It just seems like common sense to me that back in those days, it wasn't typical for women to rule, regardless on if they had magical powers or not. It was pretty typical if a king dies and has no male heirs, another man will somehow step up and take his place. It's not that, out of the ordinary for anyone that knows anything about history, would think, but apparently to Rachel that's too outdated. 1937 is outdated. Hun, do you want to know what time period this is supposed to take place in? Do a little research, honey.
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yeah. It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be. But
see, again, this is one of the things about Rachel that is so insufferable on how she is so out of touch with the story and this character. She was already in love with in the beginning. You don't need to tell the love story. This movie is not about the love story between her and the prince, and it never was. So for her to make that statement just shows how ignorant she is. That's not what it's about. It's about finding family in unique places. That is what this movie is about, is her relationship with the 7 dwarves. That's what it's always been about. The prince is only there in the beginning and shows up at the end. Now, take in mind, Disney did want to have them in more, but this was their first movie and they didn't know how to animate him. They were barely learning about how to do animation properly. Before this, it was all like the spaghetti noodle armed people, like when you see the goddess of spring in the Silly Symphonies. So this was the first time that they were really experimenting or getting the realism of animation down, which is what Disney wanted. And they had their hands full with the princess and with all the dwarves and the queen, that they couldn't just add in a prince because they were already over budget, they were overworked, and they were on a tight deadline.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. But it's one of those things.
So true,
it's an inner journey that she goes on to find her true self, and she meets a lot of people along the way that make the journey really incredible.
Could you imagine if a man said this about their female co-star? Oh yeah, their part is so insignificant. It's not really about the love story. It doesn't matter. All of her scenes could get cut. This chick like Rachel would have a complete melty, and it would be an outrage online, and the dude would be canceled and never allowed to be in Hollywood movies again. But because she said it, it's okay. Sorry to break this to you, hun, but all the girls that like Snow White, all of the little girls that look up to characters like Snow White, that adore princesses, don't like the chick that's playing the iconic character, bashing on the prince who shows up and saves the day, that never did anything wrong, nor do anyone with common sense care for that type of blatant sexism. It's fucked up. This is why everyone has turned on Rachel. This is why there's over 400,000 dislikes on this trailer, because nobody wants to see Rachel succeed. Nobody wants to see this shitty movie. Everyone was turned off by this because of Rachel opening her big dumb mouth. Now, guys, it does get worse than this. I'm going to do a follow-up video to talk about these monstrosities. And because of the one and only Mr. Peter Dinklage, instead of getting actual dwarves actors to play these characters, we get these CGI monstrosities, all because of the one and only Peter Dinklage. So if you like this video and you don't want to miss the next one, go over to my channel and smash the subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. Make sure that that bell is set to all. That way you actually get notifications when I post videos and when I do live streams. And everyone, thank you so much for watching this far through. If you liked the video, please smash that like button. If you didn't, that's okay too. Thank you so much for watching this far. And if you guys wanted to support the channel further, maybe smash that super thanks button as well and leave me a little tip, because Team YouTube does not like me and likes to censor my content. So I would really, really appreciate any and all support that you guys are willing to give me. And once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about all of this down below in the comments section. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really gonna need it. Bye, everyone.